Welcome to the Let's Talk Smiles podcast, the show dedicated to helping you live your best life with a smile. And now, sharing inside secrets to a Hollywood smile that will take your confidence level from 0 to 100 by the end of this podcast. Your host, the Queen of Smiles and Dentist to the Stars, Dr. Catrise Austin.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, guys. It's Dr. Catrise Austin, your host of the Let's Talk Smiles podcast, where we get to talk about all things dental and smiles and related. I'm so excited for today's podcast because we're going to do something different and really go deep into a subject matter that really affects a lot of men and women across the United States and across the world. And I'm excited to talk about smiles and domestic violence. Now, I know a lot of times we are not really willing to talk about domestic violence because it's something that we kind of, back in the day, we would sweep it underneath the rug. And, it's something that we have to start talking about now. If you guys are not aware of what domestic violence entails, it is the violent or aggressive behavior within a home, typically involving the violent abuse of a spouse or partner. In a relationship or marriage, it could be one or both partners who uses physical, sexual, or psychological violence to, number one, try to get power or control over someone else, or simply, number two, because they just lost their temper. So today, guys, we are going to tackle domestic violence. And if you think this is, if you think this is something that is not really affecting a lot of us, think again. Here are some important stats. Over 10 million men and women each year go through some type of domestic violence. 10 million, guys. That's nearly 20 people per minute who are affected physically or intimately by a partner that they're in a relationship or marriage with. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience physical violence, sexual violence, stalking that leads to injury, fearfulness, post-traumatic stress disorder, and even STDs. So on a typical day, guys, there are more than 20,000 phone calls that are placed to domestic violence hotlines. So this is serious business, and I am so excited to have my special guest. And she is one of those people that made a phone call to 911, and I want to bring her in and let you hear her story. She is an amazing woman, Alleah Taylor. She is an amazing survivor and advocate. Welcome to the Let's Talk Smiles podcast. Hello. I'm doing amazing. How are you doing, beautiful?
Good. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you wanting to shed light on this topic because I understand it's not the most exciting topic, but it is definitely a necessary topic.
So necessary. Well, listen, sometimes I'm scrolling on Instagram, and sometimes I go to the social media blogs, and I happen to catch the Hollywood Unlocked feature of your story. And when I saw your story and saw you, I was like, I have to speak to you because you have such a story to tell. Can you share a little bit about you? Where are you from? And I want to hear what your experience almost a year ago. What happened with you?
Yeah. So this happened January of last year. I was dating an NFL football player. His name was Chad Wheeler. He was an O-lineman for the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, wow.
And what happened was, that night, he was very emotional. Personal things had happened with his family and between us, and he just flipped and he almost killed me. And that night, he strangled me. He beat me while I was unconscious. He broke my arm.
Oh my goodness.
And also dislocated it. So I mean, I've ended up having like concussions and lots of like therapy, surgery, things like that. So since then, I just have made it my mission to just try to help other people in the situation.
Let's talk about
cycle.
Let's talk about your relationship, because to my understanding, you guys were like in love. Everything was going okay, like just going wonderful. Tell me, let's back up a little bit. Tell me about your relationship, and like, did you even foresee this coming?
Yeah, I would never thought that he would ever be physically abusive towards me. I would never think he would ever put his hands on me. He caught me off guard, definitely caught me off guard that night.
So you were in totally a good place when this happened.
Yeah, I would never thought that he would have done this. We weren't arguing. I had literally just walked into the room. I had ordered dinner for us that night. And like, I just asked him if like I could make him a plate, if I can get him like his smoothie or anything. And he just stood up and told me to bow down to him and just immediately began attacking me.
What did he mean? What did he mean by about? I mean, do you think he wanted you to perform?
I don't think it was anything sexual. I would hope not. I'm not even quite sure exactly why he asked me that. I have done some research and I found out possibly why he maybe asked me that, but I'm not too comfortable talking about that quite yet.
Okay, I totally understand.
Yeah. Just because the trial keeps getting pushed back.
Okay.
And he lives in my state, actually.
Oh. How do you feel? Do you feel safe at this moment, or do you still have feelings of fear?
Oh yeah, every day you do feel fear because Washington State is a pretty small state, and everyone kind of knows everyone here.
Okay.
And he lives, not too far from me. So, I mean, he's actually moved into my neighborhood at one point. So it is very nerve-wracking. Like I can bump into him or his family members at any point. Which is very nerve-wracking.
So he is not locked up, is what you're saying?
No, he is not locked up, which I think is ridiculous.
Oh my God.
He's almost 7 feet tall and over 300 pounds, and he's an offensive lineman. And it took several police officers to arrest him. They actually had to tase him. So he's actually just has ankle monitoring and just staying at home this whole time. Yeah. So it's very difficult. It's totally difficult. I definitely have to watch my back and try to be a little elusive. But
did you press charges?
Yes, I did. I did press charges. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. It's amazing that someone that has abused you physically, evidently, is still out on the streets.
Yes. Yeah. The justice system is slow. And that is why I've made it my mission to just try to help as many survivors as I can while I wait for justice as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Did COVID or anything have anything to do with the delay in the system?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I took the words right out of my mouth.
Okay, I was going to say, COVID has everything backed up, so I would imagine courts as well.
Mm-hmm. There's murder trials right now. There's a case right now that's a murder, and family lost their loved one. And they've waited 4 years for trial right now. Still no trial yet.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. There's people that are in jail that could be innocent, still waiting on trial. And I might not go to trial for maybe another few months. So February, unfortunately, is not on the table. I highly doubt that we'll be going to trial next month. It'll probably be around the summer, possibly.
Afrobeat, one of my long-term patients, wanted to know, you were in Seattle at the time when it happened? She used to live, she just moved from Seattle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I love Washington, but so I had moved to Kent. I also have a background in dentistry as well.
You do? That's right. You're a dental assistant, is that correct?
Actually, yeah. So I'm a dental assistant, but I work in office management. So I kind of will run back and forth.
Right. If you ever worked in a dental office, people, you know that you do everything.
Yeah, you gotta get your hands dirty. I think that's the best way to learn and the best way to lead too. Is if you know how the process works, then you can better empathize with your team and kind of help support them more. So
yes,
at the time I lived in Kent. I lived in Kent because I managed an endo office that was maybe 5-10 minutes away. So that was awesome to me. I was like,
she worked in a root canal specialist, the place that y'all go running and begging when your teeth are in pain. That's where she worked.
I loved it. Because
They're not, root canals are not as bad as people think, right?
Right. It's so quick. It goes by quick.
Especially if you have a good doctor and you're fully numb. It's just taking out an infected nerve and getting you out of pain. That's it. We're nice people there.
Put a cap on.
Put a cap on and then bing, bada bing.
I love it. Yeah.
Tell me, before this happened to you, did you see any type of signs that this, any kind of warning signs that he had this in him?
That he could ever be this abusive? No. I mean, we would have maybe some disagreements, which I think is
any relationship. Yeah.
We would have disagreements and we would be able to just talk and just be like, okay, well, this is how I feel. This is how you feel. Let's find a solution. And then we move on, literally. And then that's like if nothing happened. But that just threw me off for sure that night. Yeah. It definitely caught me off guard. So yeah, that's why I just wanted to try to do some more research on him and just figure out, is this repetitive behavior? Like,
how does one do, this is a really good question. How does one do research on a mate? I don't know if you can disclose too much online, but are there some key resources that if we want to check out who we're dating online now. Sometimes we don't meet the person. You could date someone for a year, especially in the times of COVID. You could date someone for a year without having met them. How do we check someone out? How do we get a background of who they are?
Yeah. So what I did, because I just had so many questions, Google is going to be your best friend. Google's going to be your best friend. I would totally just definitely look into them, maybe look into their family, look into the schools they went to, look into their jobs, look into maybe how many times they switched jobs too, because that can show a sign of commitment.
That is a good point.
And team effort and whatnot. So I would look into those things and just look into like their job history and stuff like that, because they could be one person with you. But I think that with COVID and with us isolating ourselves so much and like usually just only socializing online, I think it's kind of changed some people's personality where they've adjusted to that.
Yeah.
But they could be someone who's completely different at work or with their family or, just presenting themselves differently. So I would definitely do some deep diving just in case. And someone said ask their ex. I would definitely ask the person's ex because a lot of abusers use triangulation and they'll try to, talk about you badly to another woman and then to that other woman talk about, someone else, and then just all the women are now against each other.
Yeah, so that you don't talk to each other. So exactly. If another woman reached out to you online to talk about an ex, would you be willing? Because some women are like, oh, his ex reached out to me. I don't want that itch, contacting me. Is that common?
No, please. I think that's the best way to keep people safe. And even if you don't have a good, healthy relationship with that ex or even with that person that's dating that ex, I think just being mindful of what you would want and how you would want someone to treat you and how you want someone to treat maybe your child, and keep them safe. So just try to be honest and don't try to be petty either. Like don't lie on the person.
Yeah.
But, just be honest so that it keeps everyone safe and everyone's mindful and they know what they're getting themselves into. Yes,
I think those are great tips. Our followers and viewers are chiming in with great tips. Scout their social media and see if you see any indicators.
Yeah. Like I saw a meme where they said like the guy goes on vacation and his follower count goes up or something like that. That just reminded me of that. But I would definitely just do research and just make sure that you are establishing like a genuine relationship with that partner. So definitely want to make sure that you are doing, your due diligence as well. And then be open to them looking into you as well.
That's a good point. I think we should be full transparency when we first get together. Ask questions. A lot of times we're scared to ask questions because it's new and we don't want to seem like we're getting too deep into someone's business. But in today's world, we need to ask questions and lots of them.
Yeah. Especially if you're dating a public figure. I think that a lot of people are just like, okay, I want to be mindful of privacy, but not to talk about public figures or anyone in the NFL, but we're seeing so many stories come out about NFL players and the things that, are happening behind the scenes, but what people don't realize is that a lot of these things have been happening for years.
Yes, and just not talked about in the NFL. Would you agree? The NFL, unlike maybe not the NBA so much, the NFL is like a secret. Like they are really tight knit. Even to get into events, if you try to go to Super Bowl, you can get into like an NBA All-Star party, no problem. Super Bowl, the times that I've gone, they protect their football players, and even Cap talked about that in his documentary on Netflix. They really keep you boxed in and try to hide anything negative.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of sponsorships that go into to football. There's a lot of companies that are being represented. There's a lot of people that you are representing, and it's not just yourself, not just the player themselves. So I think that they definitely want to be mindful of how things are being represented. And then also just the media can spin anything.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they are very, very protective, as they should be, because I mean, we see stories of just people really taking advantage of them at times. So I don't want to make them seem like they are just holier than thou or that they're completely innocent. But I do want people to be a little empathetic too, that, they do have a lot of targets on them, unfortunately, and a lot of pressures.
Yes.
So for them to be closed off is kind of a little bit healthier for them and
for
their
them.
position. Yeah.
Speaking of the media, when this story broke out, what was the media response? Did people believe you right away? Did they tend to side with, give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe it was a false story? What was the media's perspective?
I would say I received more positive than negative. I think a lot of people were just shocked by the photos and of my injuries. And I remember, I mean, this isn't the media, but I remember when I went to the ER that night, and the doctor, my doctor, his name was actually Chad too, which is kind of crazy. And he, they had explained to him who Chad was, and he had looked him up while I was there, and he came back in the room almost in tears, and he was just like, how could someone this big do this to you? And he was just very grateful that I survived. And I think that's the same kind of notion that most of media took, was just that they're grateful that I survived.
Yes.
And really kind of supported me. But then there was also some people on Twitter that kind of took it as a racial thing and kind of called me so many different racist names, which I mean, it hurts so much, especially a person like me. I say it again, I have the same birthday as Martin Luther King Jr. I try to say that often because I celebrate almost every year. I go marching almost every year.
Wow.
And then just to get called those names is just oh my gosh, it was painful. It was definitely painful.
How did you get out of the situation when he attacked you? Had you ever been attacked? Did you have a strategy? Have you had any self-defense training? How did you survive?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I realized that domestic violence is a cycle. I grew up kind of around domestic violence and just having to defend female family members against their abusers. Growing up, as a kid, I had to. So I think I just went into fight or flight mode when I came out of unconsciousness, because he had strangled me into unconsciousness. And then I came back and he came over, looked at me and strangled me again.
Oh my God.
So when I came back to the second time or the third time, he had walked in, he had a smoothie, and he was just surprised that I was alive. And as soon as I saw that, I just sprinted to the bathroom. And
he actually said, "You're still alive," or something like that, right?
He's like, "Wow, you're still alive." And he had the smoothie that I had originally offered him before. He began attacking me, and he was just so nonchalant and just very calm. And I just ran into the bathroom and called 911. I texted my family members and some of my friends, as well as his dad, because we were on the phone kind of talking to him before this happened. Yeah. So thank God the police came so quick. The paramedics came.
Man.
So
hallelujah.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful. Wow. Yeah. If you are ever in those situations where you feel like you can't talk because the abuser's there, because at one point I had to stop talking to 911 because I can hear him taking pauses because he was eating dinner while I was in the bathroom.
So did you say, I'm going to the bathroom to clean myself up, something like that?
No, I just sprinted in the bathroom, and he didn't like, he was just like, I just went back to eating. So when I was in there, I was like talking and whispering to 911. But then after a while, I was like, okay, he's going to realize something's going on. So you can actually text 911. So if you're ever in a situation where you can't speak, or you feel like, your abuser's going to know, you can text them.
Had no idea.
Yeah.
So just text 911, and that is an emergency call. And do they call, and then they call you back after you text them?
So I was on the phone with the operator, and I told him, like, I can't keep talking. Like, I can't keep, like, he kept asking me questions, and I was in so much pain because my arm was like dangling, and I'm barely conscious. So the operator was like, okay, just text 911. And then we just continued communication over text.
That was a great tip. Now we're going to take a little break, and then I want to come back and just talk about your mindset for over the last year, and have you been able to smile through the pain and trauma? So we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right
You're
back.
listening to the Let's Talk Smiles podcast with celebrity dentist Dr. Catrise Austin. Do you want to know the secret behind every celebrity smile? It's clean, healthy, and white teeth. We invite you to join the exclusive VIP Celebrity Smile Club to get a pearly white, healthy smile just like your favorite Hollywood stars. Being a VIP has its benefits. Every 3 months, you'll get a special VIP Celebrity Smile Club package delivered right to your door with everything you need, from dental office strength teeth whitening kits to our highly anticipated mystery gifts. That's right, we're giving you all the secrets to getting a Hollywood smile just like your favorite celebs from the Queen of Smiles herself. Visit celebritysmile.club to become a VIP today. That's celebritysmile.club. We look forward to seeing you on the red carpet.
All right, we are back with our special guest, Alleah Taylor, talking about domestic violence, learning about her story and how she survived. And now we want to get into mindset and how you've been doing and how have you begun to heal in the last year. And we got a question from Y Pre, and she wants to know, do you experience any PTSD from your attack? And how are you doing? How are you healing now?
Yeah. I'll have to say within the first few months after the attack, I did definitely experience PTSD. It was definitely difficult for people to touch me. After that, I just felt uncomfortable. So I just started seeking therapy. I definitely do talking therapy and meditation, and I lean into my faith.
Yes.
I'm Christian, so I definitely pray. And I understand not everyone may be religious, but it definitely helps to have, some faith and some hope, and kind of believe in a little bit of a higher power, because some things are just out of our control. So I think it's kind of nice to just have that to lean on.
What about your family? How did they, gosh, that must have been so scary for them. And did anybody try to retaliate or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. So as far as like retaliation goes, I told everyone not to. I didn't want them talking about it. I still don't want them like commenting on certain things or like talking about it publicly, like on socials or blogs or anything like that. And that's just because they didn't know Chad. I only knew Chad, only dated him. So I don't feel comfortable with them kind of commenting on the situation.
Good.
Not because I'm not trying to protect him, but just because I just don't want, things to be even worse or more negativity to be put out there. Because of course they're my family. They're going to want to protect me, have my back. But
someone asked, do you have a brother, and is your dad in your life?
Yeah, so it's kind of odd. So with my family, I would say at first everyone was all on board, very supportive. And then once I started like taking time away from media and just wanting to heal, just focus on myself and be present for myself, I started realizing that like more true colors started to show. Like I said, my family has experience with domestic violence, and I'm the youngest out of my siblings. So I think that, there may have been, maybe some feelings of now this happened to Alleah, like, maybe feeling guilt, maybe there's embarrassment too, because maybe people are embarrassed by the photo that was out there, things like that. So I would say like I don't really have that much support right now from my family, but that's okay because like I lean on my faith and I have my grandma. So
Aw. Are you embarrassed by the photo when you see it? How do you feel? And is that a trigger for you?
yeah, at first it hurt because I mean I used to, well, I still model and I used to be in pageantry as well. So to see myself like that, it was just painful. For months after, I had scars on my neck still from him strangling me. I had bruises. So it was very difficult at first. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to not allow people to shame me. I'm going to take power back from this. This happened to me. This is not something I chose, but I am going to choose how to move forward. And I'm not going to allow it to like dim my light at all. So it actually turned into a confidence booster because I was like, if I could bounce back from that, I can do anything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. What makes you smile today?
Oh gosh, gratitude. I have gratitude moments. Like anytime I feel down or I'm just like frustrated with the case or anything, I just have a little gratitude moment and I bring it back. Like, you know, I could be gone. I could be dead or, you know, things could be much worse. I could be far worse off. I couldn't have healed from my, you know, injuries. So I just try to remind myself of what things could be and just how grateful I am where I am today and where I want to be. So I just try to redirect my energy.
That is amazing. Now,
I love it.
In terms of getting treatment, is this something that your insurance? Did you have insurance at the time? Hopefully, you did.
Yeah. So I would love to talk about this. This is something that I've been working on with King County and something I learned about as well. So here in Washington State, they have a crime victims program that helps out with anyone that's been affected by crime, whether that's domestic violence or someone being robbed, things like that, where they will help pay for like your medical bills, if you have any dental work that needs to be done, if there's like any mental health concerns at all, you need to see a nurse at all for like your injuries, like I had to for like my throat and whatnot. Like I had to see a special nurse so that they can not rate my injuries, but just view them and whatnot and be able to document them.
Yes.
So they help you with that whole process because I've never been in this situation before. So there's so many different resources. I would definitely say to reach out to like your local domestic violence advocate, and they will help walk you through this whole process. You can just say like, you know, I need help with paying the bills, or I need help with, you know, with the rent, or I need help with, you know, school clothes, stuff like that. And
that's amazing.
So many resources.
Wow.
Many resources. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely please reach out to a domestic violence advocate, kind of, you know, set up a meeting and just write down a list of
what your needs are,
what your needs are, what your concerns are. And they will, you know, try to exhaust all efforts to try to get those things met for you. I've worked with King County here in Washington, and we've been able to get more domestic violence advocates hired. And now they're actually looking to have advocates for all crimes, not just for domestic violence.
Yes.
So I'm like, I got that news today. I spoke with my domestic violence advocate, and she told me that, you know, she'll be working with, you know, all victims. And that like almost broke out in tears. I was like, yes.
That is so amazing. So go to find out the domestic violence. There's a hotline in every state, is it? Okay.
Yes, there's a hotline in every state. What I think I'll do is I'm going to add in my link, domestic violence advocate link for like King County and my county, to my profile. So you guys can just click on it and there should be like a link tree and it'll just be a little easier.
Yes.
Yeah. Cause even my family has been affected by domestic violence. At one point as a kid, I lived in a shelter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll maybe link because I just donated and just like helped the family out for Christmas that lived in that same shelter that I did as a kid. So if you guys want those resources, maybe I'll add those to my link tree too.
Absolutely. We would love that. And then I'll try to find, if there's a national hotline, I'll post it in my IG stories as well. You've been so resourceful. We're going to take another break, and then we're going to talk about, we talked about some of the overall resources. I want to focus in on dental and tell you guys about an organization and a charity that can help you get a smile again. So stay tuned, guys. We'll take a little break and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Let's Talk Smiles podcast with celebrity dentist Dr. Catrise Austin. Do you want to know the secret behind every celebrity smile? It's clean, healthy, and white teeth. We invite you to join the exclusive VIP Celebrity Smile Club to get a pearly white, healthy smile just like your favorite Hollywood stars. Being a VIP has its benefits. Every 3 months, you'll get a special VIP Celebrity Smile Club package delivered right to your door with everything you need, from dental office strength teeth whitening kits to our highly anticipated mystery gifts. That's right, we're giving you all the secrets to getting a Hollywood smile just like your favorite celebs from the Queen of Smiles herself. Visit celebritysmile.club to become a VIP today. That's celebritysmile.club. We look forward to seeing you on the red carpet.
And we are back for our third segment. Hey guys, thank you for listening to the Let's Talk Smiles podcast. I am so thankful to have so many people here engaged and really finding value in this podcast segment. And we have a special guest here, Alleah Taylor, who is sharing her story. And man, we have learned so much and gotten some great tips. Now I want to talk about how domestic violence affects our smiles, our physical smiles. And I did some research and found a study in Brazil on the occurrence of traumatic dental injuries when it comes to domestic violence. And a number of studies have shown that the head and neck regions are the most frequently injured areas as a consequence of physical aggression, resulting in fractures, contusions, burns, and other type of dental injuries. Alleah, did you have any damage to your teeth or your smile, your lips, your mouth, or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. So I did have a busted lip. And when he was strangling me, he definitely did damage like my vocal cords. And he was definitely like, when he was like, he put his fingers down my throat as well and like kind of clawed my throat a little bit. So I definitely did have, some effects, some damage to my smile. So it definitely took some months and lots of scar cream to try to heal and try to get back to what I felt was like my usual smile. But,
did you have to see an oral surgeon or a general dentist, or who's the right dental team member to scout when you have injuries or your injuries?
Yeah, I mean, if you are regularly going to a dentist, I would definitely go back to your usual dentist, because they will have x-rays and have knowledge of how your teeth look prior to the incident. So I would definitely go back to them and just, explain the trauma to them. Definitely explain it to them so that just in case, they might think it's a routine checkup. So I would definitely be open with them so they can check for the trauma, because, working in endo, I realized that trauma can cause, problems for root canals as well. Or you may get a cracked tooth. You may, that may cause so many other issues.
That's a good point. A lot of times when you have a cracked tooth, it may go deeper than even what you see to the human eye. So it's not until we get an x-ray or look at the tooth under a microscope that we see the extent of a fractured tooth. But if you have any extreme sensitivity to cold or hot or sweet, if you have trouble biting down and you feel like you have pain when you bite down, a lot of times that is a sign that you have a fracture, especially if you don't see anything, but you bite down and it's like, ouch. You may have a little micro fracture or a severe fracture that has gone all the way down to the length of the root. So that's why, yes, I love your advice to get to your general dentist, the person that has a history on you, or if you don't have a dentist, then you find someone that is very experienced to take care of you. But I love that you were you working at a dental office at the time?
Yes, yeah, at the time of the attack. So I did go back and kind of visit my doctor after, but then I do have a general dentist that I partner with as well for my health. So it was nice to be able to have that rapport with those doctors and kind of go back. And so I definitely would suggest to definitely prioritize your health, because you never know when you may need to lean on those resources and lean on your community. And it's just nice to have a familiar face and just have that rapport with them. So,
yes. I always talk about the dental, and you know this working in a dental office, it's a very personal, close relationship. We get to know things about your medical history, your dental history, and then we see parts of your mouth that your spouse or mate or friends, family, we know things about you that other people don't even know. So when you do find a dentist that you are happy with, man, it's priceless. That's why I wanted to also talk about this at the top of the year, to get people in the mindset of getting to the dentist. And if you guys don't have resources, you know, I just partnered back up with a savings plan called Carrington, and Carrington is a discount plan. You know Carrington? Yeah, I'm telling the world about it. It's $8.95 a month to join. You get to put up to 4 people on your plan. Listen, I try to drop the jewels, Alleah. It's awesome.
Especially if you need more than just the general dentistry, kind of like the cleaning and whatnot. It helps so much if you need a crown.
Yes, you save up to 60%. And you can go to any dentist across the nation. You don't have, like with insurance, you can only go to your doctor in your town. No, if you're traveling, you have an emergency. If you let's say you have insurance, but you don't have enough, because we know that insurance is never enough. So if you need to save because you ran out of insurance and there's no waiting periods, if you need a root canal today, a crown today, a deep cleaning, some of those things that with your insurance, they try to make you wait sometimes. Yes. Yeah. Deep cleanings. Yes. So in the link in my bio, you will see information about Carrington. And they also have not only dentistry, they have tele-dentistry, they have telehealth, and they have a total health plan where you can get prescriptions, you could get everything, and access to doctors and dentists, physicians and dentists and nurses 24/7, guys. So listen to the experts here. Alleah works in the dental office. I'm the Queen of Smiles. We're putting you up on dental game. If you do not have anything, your job does not offer you any kind of benefits. If you're an employer and you don't offer your staff members or your team members anything because you can't afford it, then let's get them into a Carrington plan. And you can put up to 4 people on your plan. Child, please. Come on now. $8.95 a month.
Yeah, like the whole family.
The whole family. Yes. So we said that to say that if you need any kind of dental work, whether you've been affected by domestic violence, you've had some injuries to your mouth, and you don't have a relationship, a doctor to go to, then you can definitely, this is a great resource. There's also dental schools. People forget about that. There's dental schools where you can get low cost dental care. And then there is an amazing charity. If you have ever suffered in the last year some type of domestic violence or sexual violence from a partner, there is an organization that I belong to, the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry, and they have a charity. You know, they have a charity called Give Back a Smile. Oh, I love that name, Give Back a Smile. If you or anyone you know has been affected by domestic violence, violence in the last year, then their mission, they were established back in 1999. Now, y'all know I'm a Prince fan. They started it back in 1999, and their mission is to assist in rebuilding the smiles and lives of adults who've suffered dental injuries from domestic and sexual violence with cosmetic dental services, with compassion and support programs. And their theme is to restore a smile and restore a life. And what I love is that they have volunteer dentists from all over the United States that contribute their time and their service. They have volunteer dental labs. I mean, they do implants, they do veneers, they do crowns, whatever it takes to give you your smile back. This is a free service for those who qualify, and they have helped since 1999 up to about 2,000 people now. So, man, I'm going to tell you guys, if you, it's huge. It is huge. If you,
a lot of abusers will do that. Will try to damage like your face and try to damage your looks and whatnot as a way,
because they know that's going to hurt you.
That's going to hurt you in the long run. I mean, people look at your smile for jobs, interviews, things like that. I mean,
if you want to get back in another relationship in the future, it's like, I'm going to mess this area up here so that you could never be happy again.
Yeah. So it's a blessing to have people like you.
Oh,
and
thank
so
you.
Many different programs there to support survivors. So thank you.
Yes. Well, I just learned that here's the thing: domestic violence month or something like that is October, which is the same month as dental month. So I say next October, you and we need to just I'm in it now. We need to hit all the TV stations and talk about this and continue to bring this to light, right? So
I would love going to offices and talking about it.
Yes,
so we have to do that.
We have to. We have to. The rapper Fabulous knocked his partner teeth out and you lost all respect for him. Period. I know it is. People who are famous lately, there's a lot of people that's in the news for being famous, making records, and not having a good history with women and men. So let me tell you about the AACD and how you may be eligible for the Give Back a Smile program. If you are 18 years or older, and you've received dental injuries to the smile zone from a former intimate partner or spouse, that could be a husband, wife, domestic partner, boyfriend or girlfriend. If you've had domestic violence or injuries from a family member, or sexual violence, which could be sexual assault and rape, or maybe a victim of human trafficking, you may qualify for the Give Back a Smile program. Now, you must not currently be with your abuser. That isn't, you don't be with that person and try to get some help. No, you got to be gone from that situation. So listen, if you guys want more information, you're going to go to givebackasmile.com. To apply, there is a $20 non-refundable application fee. But if that is actually, you don't have any resources, what I love is that they give you the opportunity for your application fee, substitute the $20 with completing 10 hours of community service within a 12-month period of your application. And as long as you have proof for that, you can apply. So it is amazing. Shout out to the AACD. Yes. And so I posted in my IG stories already how you can apply, where you could go. The link is actually in the IG story, or there is a phone number that is also posted in my IG story, but it is 800-773-4888. 227. And if you know anybody that could use this information, please share it with a friend, family, coworker, or loved one. So what do you have planned for 2022? It's a new year. Look at her smile, like she's beautiful. She's able to smile. I'm just so happy to see you smiling. What do you have in store for 2022?
I really want to continue my domestic violence advocacy. I definitely want to partner with other people that have the same goals as me as well, that want to help change laws. Last year, I was able to partner with Washington State Women's Commission and help change some of the laws in regards to protection orders. There's so many gray areas that allows for the abusers to still abuse us or to still use coercive control in court. So I want to still, try to help as many survivors as possible. And then also try to prioritize being present for myself as well. So just find that happy medium, but it will definitely be, a goal of mine to continue just helping as many people or providing resources as possible.
Listen, you are such an amazing woman. Your strength, your ability to smile, you're an inspiration. And I am so happy that I got a chance to meet with you and speak with you today. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Let's Talk Smiles podcast. And you and we got work to do. We are not done, honey. I cannot wait to continue building with you and spreading this message across the United States and the world. So have an amazing rest of your night. Have a great week, and we'll be talking in the back channel. Let's give it up for Alleah, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Listen, I really enjoyed speaking with her. I am loving my podcast, guys. I see the hand claps. Let's clap it up for her. She deserves it. I hope that somebody learned something that can be shared with a friend, family, or loved one. I love this podcast so much because I get to meet so many cool people, and I get to bring issues to you guys that, you may not get anywhere else, guys. Thank you for the people who have supported me on this podcast and trust and believe all this month. And I just got so many people to introduce you to and some great topics. And remember, if you have a subject or issue that you want me to talk about on the Let's Talk Smiles podcast, make sure you send me a little message, send me a little email, and I will put it on the table. All right, guys, this podcast is for you so that you can have the best smile inside and out. Live your best lives with a smile. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Let's Talk Smiles podcast with Dr. Catrise Austin. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes, and don't forget to leave an awesome review. This podcast is intended to be informational only. It is not a dental consultation, and this is not personalized dental advice. For medical advice, please consult your dentist.